Happy Tuesday. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's strong enough? Well, thank you for attending. We got a light crowd today. I think everyone's maybe still, thinks it's Monday. Well, we'll go ahead and make sure that we silence all your cell phones. That way anybody that's here in the crowd and listening can hear all the questions and all the updates. Do we currently have any resident announcements? Madam President, here you go.
Somebody was asking me questions about our owner, Health Peak. I recommend that everybody buy one chair, and then you know what's going on with Health Peak. And also, they talk about there being 3 legs of a stool: the company, the customer, and the shareholder. We could be 2 of the 3 legs. Thank you.
Thank you, President. Appreciate that. Any other resident announcements? Oh, all right, we'll go into some updates. So just your weekly reminder to make sure we're returning all of those luggage carts, wheelchairs, and other items. We're continuing to work with our on-site vendors and partners to make sure they do that as well. Remember, we put little geolocating tags on those, so make sure we get those returned. So just another reminder, it comes up frequently, please remember to clean up after your pets. If you are unable to, you must then hire IHS to help you. If you can't walk your pets and or clean up after them, we do offer IHS services to help you with that, but it continues to be a concern, so we want to make sure we address that. We also want to remember to keep them out of the dining areas. So please, 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 this is all in the handbook. We are here to help you. If you need help with the pets, we can hire IHS, but we need to make sure we're cleaning up after them and not having them in the areas where other residents are having meal services. So just an update, speaking of IHS, medication management services are personalized support to ensure you take the right medication at the right time and every day. So this is something I think all of us could benefit from. So if you are interested and think you might need that help, please do contact Christine or Maddie at 502 or 503. They also want to let you know they put the new puzzles in your box, so fill those out for free services from IHS. So just another reminder, we've kept this up there, quite a few Tuesday talks now, but want to make sure that it's no surprise. Effective June, this coming month, rent received after the 10th of the month is subject to a late fee. Please do see Sherry or Sarah about setting up automatic withdrawal if you are concerned about that. And you can also always turn in your checks at the front desk. So we just wanted to let you know that in June, if you pay after the 10th, there will be a late fee as discussed and sent out to the community per the OIR guidelines 60 days ago. More than 60 days ago. So we have a couple more weeks for our shred bins. They are still here in each building, but please make sure you are using those. They are going to be sent back in the next 2 weeks. We filled out quite a few of them, and so we are going to keep them for about 2 more weeks. So please do, any of tax papers, any old documents, any of that spring cleaning, please do use those. They are here for you, and they will be sent back in the next 2 weeks. So we've had them for a few months now, and we will be sending those back. So just a friendly reminder about that. So some updates from Evan and Environmental Service. The south dining room, we have upholstery cleaned the furniture in the south lobby. We have upholstery cleaned the furniture in the waiting areas. He did want to remind, this is some of the vases we have. Please don't put trash in decorative vases. We've got people that are throwing little items in there, so you think it go without saying, but friendly reminder, please don't put trash in the vases. And we are continuing to focus on working on our elevators, keeping those nice and clean from all of the black scuffs from all of our visitors and construction. So it just continues to be a focus of ours. North dining room cleaning, we did complete the carpets in both dining rooms, and to help elevate the dining experience, we are doing the interior windows. We are cleaning the brass railings throughout the dining room. We will be cleaning the window ledges, the window frames, and then now working on the baseboard cubbies and wallpaper and walls. So just want to make sure that all of our areas in your homes look as beautiful as possible. So we are continuing to focus on those extra areas that are just as important. Little update from plant operations. So they have been very busy. So we've had about 112 completed work orders, about 70 remain open. Some of them are part of our captain rounds that we've implemented as a team to help maintenance identify various areas that need to be addressed, and of course with all of your help as well. We replaced the board and motor in the pub and salon water heater. We replaced the main breaker on the health center emergency power. We ran new circuits for the irrigation clocks by the healthcare center. We replaced some GFIs, including the exterior box by the compactors. He replaced the hydraulic package on the North Service elevator, replaced 2 new ACs and resident homes, are continuing these final walkthroughs on completed restoration units for the Blue Team remediation. Just a reminder, we always have that maintenance meeting with Chris at 10:30 on Fridays for any work orders or questions. And then we are finishing the tarmac replacement project. Today they are just finalizing the stencils. So that is the third portion. We'll have one more portion next year to complete the entire campus. So we should be done with that this week. So we appreciate all of the assistance. I know it was kind of herding cats with all of the parking. So we've got that done, and we should be done by the end of today. So just another friendly reminder, I know we mentioned it last week, but we'll mention it again. Please do not remove the blue tape. Blue Team needs those. They've got all their little notes on them as to what areas need to be addressed for final punch and walkthrough. So these are still in process, not completed yet, but these are some of their notes of areas that they are needing to go back and to address, so please just leave those there. We will get them at the end. So just an update from Kelly. We continue. I've discussed it before, but every Tuesday we have what's called CCR, and it is basically a meeting where we sit and we discuss all of our residents, any residents that have had recent changes in conditions, recent hospitalizations, anything going on with our residents in order to help provide services for you. That's how we help identify people that might need IHS, people that might need outpatient therapy, home health, additional services from Carol. And so we've asked in the past, if you have a friend, if you have a resident that maybe you kind of realized is maybe self-isolating a little more than normal, or just had a recent event, we don't always know, but we're here. That's the entire purpose of our existence for you, is to help you age in place as safely and as long as possible in your homes. So if you see something, say something. There's notices out there. We of course do not provide any of your personal information to other residents for HIPAA. That is your basically your secret, right? We don't talk about your health information. And we do just want to make sure that, again, if you do see something, say something about another resident. That way, hey, just noticed they're not coming out of their apartment as much. And then these are things we can follow up on as a team to make sure we address any needs you might have. So we just wanted to make sure to keep that at the forefront of your mind. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, it's okay too. But we really do just want to make sure that we can keep an eye. You are in independent living. You don't have to tell us anything if you don't want to. But we do ask that if you do see something like that, identify so we can intervene and maybe help that particular resident. We've got a plethora of resources, and that is why we're here. So again, as Kelly mentioned, we do make every effort to provide information on services to residents, and we also encourage you to work with us for those services. So you all have your resident rights, we know that, and we of course will always adhere to that confidentiality. So quite a active week in skilled nursing. I mentioned last week we had an outbreak and we continue to have an outbreak. So in skilled nursing, that is SNF, skilled nursing facility, and AL, assisted living, we have 14 active COVID cases in skilled nursing and 2 active COVID cases in assisted living. So as we mentioned, we legally cannot tell you, do not go visit your loved ones. Your loved ones do have the right to visitors, but we would strongly discourage you from doing so. So please, if you can avoid it, I would not be going to skilled nursing at the moment, as they are still mitigating additional exposure with 14 cases.
Wow.
Many of them are nosocomial, meaning fired from the hospital. So we, of course, are in discharge plan post-hospitalization. That's the purpose of our healthcare center, as well as outpatient therapy. So we are there for residents that are recovering from COVID, and that is one of the reasons for the numbers. But let's not grow that exposure. Stay out of there if you can. We highly encourage it. And just again, a little bit as far as with that, we went over the immunizations, the hygiene, treatment, stay home and prevent the spread. If you feel like it, you most certainly can wear a mask, that's social distancing. And then of course, again, as we've mentioned, if you want to be tested, please call the front desk and we can send somebody up there to help you test. We don't want you walking through the community sneezing while you're heading to the front desk to get a test. So we will help you with that. We'll make sure that you are COVID-free. Sometimes it can present as allergies, but we want to make sure that we rule that out. So we can most certainly help you with that. Just give us a call and we'll send someone up there to assist you. As we mentioned, hurricane preparedness is coming. The annual forms were distributed for all residents to complete and return to the front desk to update your evacuation status. If you need help completing those forms, Carol, Kelly, or Betsy can help you with that. We will have the hurricane supply items available at the desk for residents to purchase, so more to come on that. We'll get a date and get that started, and then we'll get you a date for the annual emergency preparedness meeting that we will hold in June. So we are already through the middle of the year, basically. The first half of the year is gone, and we are moving into hurricane preparedness. So I'll have all the statistics and all the information on what our season looks like. But we already are starting the early phases of that planning, so we appreciate all your cooperation with those forms and information in advance. So this week in activities, on more exciting stuff, Tuesday, of course, May 27th, Flex Your Brain with Samantha. Great way to keep your mind challenged and lots of fun. 2 p.m. in Arts and Crafts. Wednesday is our casino trip, 9:30 bus pickup, North and South Building. Wednesday the 28th, we have Aqua Fitness, 10:30 a.m. in the pool. All fitness levels are invited to join. Friday 30th is Trivia Night, 7:30 in Grand Lobby South. And then the Saturday, the 31st, is going to be Carla Hines at 7:30 p.m. here in Town Hall. So busy week with lots of fun stuff. So little updates from sales. Erin is out this week handling some personal business, but she will be back. We have quite a few closings set and scheduled this week. So we are at 13 deposits towards our goal of 17 by the end of the quarter, which is June. Our next event is June 12th at 11 a.m. It's called Let's Talk About It, a fun presentation on life care and lifestyle. We are currently working on a 1-bedroom strategy. That is the majority of our inventory. We do have 2 bedrooms as well, but it's something that we continue to focus on because we do have majority 1 bedrooms. And then I know it was mentioned, I met with a couple residents last week and discussed a little bit with Erin and Ms. Margaret, but we'll be working on a high-level presentation for the ambassadors on our contract options. We by no means want you to be in sales. We are not going to bore you with all the logistics. You don't want that information, nor do we want you communicating all that information, but we will give you kind of a high-level rundown of what that looks like for those that have residents that ask. So we'll be working on that for you. But we always do want, if you have anybody specific with questions, we do want them referred directly to our sales team, as they are the subject matter experts on those conversations. So a little bit of updates. We have Janie Arevalo is our new recruiter. She was in orientation last week, and we're just happy to introduce her to our team. She brings over 8 years of recruiting and HR experience to the position. So if you see her, make sure to welcome her. She is instrumental in keeping us fully staffed and recruiting. That way we have team members here to help take care of all of you. And then lots going on in food and beverage. So as we mentioned, we are currently interviewing for the executive chef. Ricky has stepped into that role over the last month or so. I'm sure at some point he'll be happy to get back out of the kitchen. But we are almost there. We actually do have a chef candidate that we have interviewed by the board, as well as myself, the corporate team, and Ricky and team. So we are looking to extend that offer and introduce you to our new executive chef soon. So just a little bit as far as events. They do have the Bourbon and Barbecue, Smoked Pastrami Reuben. Theme night is going to be the 28th, Alice in Wonderland. The pub will be closed that night. The 29th will be Breezeway, starting around 4 o'clock, barbecue chicken. And then on the 30th, the North and South dining rooms will have the buffet, as I had mentioned, due to many of our servers' graduation nights. So we do appreciate you understanding in advance on that. So continuing into June, on the 3rd, Tacos and Tequila, featuring ahi tuna tacos. On the 18th is Pasta Night, continuing the Action Station. The 25th, we are going to be doing an Enchanted Evening Luau with a pig roast and lots of fun surprises for that. We do have the pub. We actually are going to be closing that today. It's an emergency closure for lunch and dinner. We have replaced some items to the hot water heater, and we are having additional issues this morning. So we are closing the pub for lunch today and dinner today only, so we can get those areas addressed. You kind of need hot water. So, yes. And that's correct. So that is in the gastropub and the salon that we are having the hot water issues. So we are closing the pub, specifically make sure we have hot water for dishes. It's important. So we are closing for lunch and dinner. They're working on it now. They have replaced it Friday, but we're having a couple more issues. So we'll get that fixed and get everything back on track. So in lieu of that, Ricky is going to be doing a Breezeway pop-up today. No reservations needed, so if you usually eat in the pub for dinner, you can come out to the Breezeway. He'll be doing complimentary drinks and a pop-up. He hasn't told me what's on the menu. Probably the same time, around 4. So he'll confirm it. Again, this just occurred, so we'll get all the information out. I just wanted to make sure I can communicate to you while I had you all here for Tuesday Talk. And then I know I mentioned this last week, but on Monday, June 9th, Ricky and the food and beverage team are going to be sending out a pulse survey. So we are starting to providing that to receive your feedback in preparation for our main survey that we do every 2 years. So this one's what we call a pulse survey. It's an abbreviated survey, but it allows us to get the pulse of your feedback and questions, concerns, or anything on food and beverage. So more to come on that, but that will be on June 9th that you'll be receiving that. Just keeping this up here again, the full count resident portal, the code is Regency Oaks. If you're having any issues with that, the code is Regency Oaks. So I'll just leave that up here as that continues to come up intermittently. And then just a little bit of follow-up for me. Like we said, the paving project's almost complete, still finishing some stenciling, and we should be done by the end of today. We are still working on our administrative phones project, and the elevators are in progress. We're about halfway through. We've completed independent living for the majority of the restoration and remediation of most units. We're about halfway through in skilled nursing and AL for the Blue Team, hurricane remediation, and restoration. Did want to still mention that Pam is still out recovering, so we are continuing to have Anna in her place, doing a great job in helping us out there. As I mentioned, we did have quite an extensive interview process with our executive chef, and we are looking to make that offer today and get him onboarded. So that usually requires drug screening, background screening, references, and all of that can take a little bit, but nonetheless, we found a candidate, so we're hoping everything works out and we can get him onboarded as soon as possible. Nick has been helping out in the interim of all of the changes in food and beverage, and Nick has accepted the new sous chef role for our food and beverage team. So we love Nick. We think he's extremely important to our team, and it's always important to grow and promote within when all possible. So he jumped right in there when we did have the changes, and so we have now made that official for him to be our sous chef. So super excited for him. We'll be backfilling his role in the gastropub. More to come on that. So lots and lots of operational movement over in food and beverage, but we're getting there and we're really happy with the direction. You may or may not know, we have our AL director, Belinda. She is actually going to be doing a little bit of retirement. So she is going to be leaving us, and we have a new AL director named Nettie. So we will make sure that we continue. She just finished orientation and got on the floor basically last week. So we will be implementing her into our team, the next forum, the next transitions of care, where at all applicable for her role for you to get to know her. We obviously know that it's important for you to know the directors of our other settings, Kyle Bolden being our healthcare administrator, and now Nettie being our assisted living director. So more to come for that. We look forward to you getting to know her and getting her onboarded and fully trained. So I've gotten lots of questions about the external sealing and caulking. Blue Team continues to move their date on me, so we are actually just going to set it up ourselves. So I spoke to Darwin last week, and we are going to address that instead of waiting for Blue Team. We know we're getting into hurricane season. A lot of the timeline is beyond my control. This is an insurance claim. There are lots of parties involved that are completely beyond my control, LCS's control, and Regency's control. So we're working through all of the process. Ideally, it would be nice to have everything done, brand new roofs and every hole plugged by hurricane season, but that's just not how it's going to be. But we will be going ahead and working on the sealing and caulking, so I don't continue waiting on Blue Team. So more to come on that once I get that date. I know I mentioned the resident survey process has now begun. That will be in August, so more to come on that. I got the early forms, let them know how many IL residents we have, skilled nursing residents, AL residents, and we'll be starting that process. So more to come on that. Do what?
The numbers will change?
Possibly, yes. Well, they always leave extra. Yeah. As we mentioned, Food and Beverage is going to be working on that mock pre-survey. That will be going out next week. Another reminder that we're going to be serving the buffet dinner with wine and beverages just on Friday the 13th due to many of our team's graduations. We do want to make sure we let you know we have posted the OIR results in all the libraries. That's our annual and our Q1. So if you're interested in reading that, it's a lot of fun, big old thick packet. And that is there in the libraries per OIR for your visual and transparency. And then just in regards to the North Carpet project, we will have a visit with Blue Team on June 3rd around 9 a.m. They have a forensic architect and flooring experts just to come out and look at the progress and any additional areas that need to be identified before they finally sign off and complete that. So making good leeway on a lot of these projects. I know it doesn't feel like it. We probably have construction fatigue at this point. I just finished doing what's called skip levels with my boss's boss, and she said, you know, you've been there almost 2.5 years. I said, I know, I've been in construction for almost 2.5 years. So I said, I don't know Regency without Blue Team at this point. But we're almost there, we really are. I know it doesn't feel like it, but carpets are getting done, many apartments, And we look forward to just moving on one day to knowing Regency without it all. So nonetheless, that's the majority of our updates for a little shorter week. Obviously, many of us were out yesterday for Memorial Day. So with that, any questions I can answer for you all?
On Friday, you said there'd be a buffet in both dining rooms. What about the pub? Is the pub closed on Friday evening?
Let me confirm, but I believe that it is. But we'll make sure that we can get Ricky to confirm.
In a related question, is the buffet extended to lunch on that day? Some people had asked whether there would be service or the buffet and lunch in the dining rooms.
I do believe it's only for dinner, but I'll also have Ricky confirm that.
Excuse me, would you get back to the people in the assisted living over there that they can't go visit? It might be a nice thing to go to the little card shop here, get a card and put their room number on it and just, hi, I can't come over, but we still love you. And that way we'll get somebody in the card shop and we won't feel that they're left all alone.
Absolutely, thank you for that. Absolutely.
My husband and I have noticed a lot of wasps' nests up in the ceilings of the walking areas, and we just wonder if there's someone who can do a daily or weekly walkthrough, because there's still several of them still up there right now and could pose a danger to the residents.
So that will be part of the project because we have to rent the equipment since we are 5 stories. We can't reach those higher areas, but in
Just
general walkways.
Yeah, not the
yes.
high areas, just the ones.
Absolutely.
But
Okay,
the high
we'll take
areas
a
have
look.
them too.
Oh, they do too?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Just give me a broom and I can do it.
We'll take care of it. Thank you.
No, she can't.
You're hired.
Fired.
All in 5 seconds.
Lindsay, 2 questions.
Yes.
First, the hurricane preparedness document. If there's no changes, do we have to file it again? And then the other one is, how come they didn't complete the project they had originally planned for phase 3?
So answer to your first question, we would like you to, just so we know and we don't just assume you just didn't turn it in. Or you could just let Betsy know no changes. But, yeah, you can just turn it in and just put no changes.
Okay.
Yep. And then the second one, they,
Phase 3 was supposed to go all the way to the parking at the end of the S-wing, and they stopped halfway.
so actually I know another resident asked that. I need to follow up with Darwin about that piece. Whatever they did not finish, they will do on the 4th round, which is the last round. So, but I can't speak to why they stopped at that spot, but I'm gonna ask Darwin for clarification.
Yeah, because all of those parking spaces we were supposed to move.
Yep, I have to ask Darwin for clarification. Yep. Any other questions?
Me, of course.
Mrs. Candy?
Hello, I'm Candy Muller, Dining Committee and Rower Board, and I thought I would just let you in on some, not secret, but inside information. We are, of course, very, very happy that Nick is going to become the sous chef. And for all of you that are wondering, I can't speak for Nick, but I do know that he is very happy to be in that position. He's been working with Ricky in the dining room this whole time as sous chef, and he's just loved it. And the other thing I wanted to say is, and I wanted to thank Lindsay for including your board of directors. We did meet the new candidate for executive chef. And for those of you that don't know, Ricky is a graduate of the CIA, the other CIA, which is the Culinary Institute of America. And it's funny, if you wanna go to YouTube and take a look at that place and what they have to go through to graduate from there, it's amazing. And the inside information is, the new chef candidate is also a graduate of the CIA. And I know that we are lucky as a community to have that, because not every one of our communities has a CIA graduate in the kitchen. Thank you.
And he comes from another senior living community, which was really important to me. Any other questions? Okay, well, happy Tuesday. We'll get that feedback.